Hello and welcome. My name is Kubeir. I am a CICC licensed immigration consultant, and this channel is all about Canadian immigration news, updates, things you should do, things you definitely should not with your Canadian immigration application. So today I have with me as my guest Lev, who is an Canadian immigration lawyer. So let me welcome Lev Abramovich. How are you, Lev?
I'm good. How are you, Kubeir?
Excellent. Thank you for joining me again this time. Last time you were here, we were talking about the mandamus applications. I did see a recent memo on the Globe and Mail, which indicated that they have their hands on a memo which says that IRCC is looking to make some very aggressive steps, or rather take some aggressive steps with regards to TRV applications, and they're looking to probably either remove the eligibility requirement, the section 179 subsection B, whereby the requirement for an applicant to prove that they will indeed return back to their home country, that is removed for 495,000 applications. That basically would mean everybody gets approved, right?
Yeah, well, we still don't know the details. First of all, great job by Matt Lundy at the Globe and Mail. He does fantastic work. I've had the pleasure of we're talking to him about a couple of articles. So great job by him. Ultimately, we should be asking, why is this stuff coming out by way of an investigative piece by the Globe and Mail, as opposed to by way of perhaps consultations with stakeholders, and maybe just more transparency with respect to the things that IRCC is looking at. So yes, you're right. I think they're looking at basically trying to eliminate the backlog, or trying to seriously reduce it on the TR side of things by waiving eligibility and essentially creating a mass sort of visa amnesty, if you will. I think that the chances of that are quite high, just because the system is basically a mess, and there's nothing else that I think they're able to do to clear it. So there are a few interesting questions. Eligibility doesn't mean approval, because there's still security, criminality, etc.
Of course.
Next, if they're going to create a system whereby all of a sudden, a couple of 100,000 people are approved, what does that say about those who are not coming here as genuine visitors? So we're potentially going to see either migrant workers or people who are coming here not to visit but to do something else. Some of them will, of course, be seeking refugee protection, which is perfectly fine, because this is not an unreasonable thing to do if you're facing persecution. But I think there'll probably be a swamp of other issues that will come out of this bulk approval that is then going to possibly create other issues in the system. And what I'd like to do is not just see a mass approval or approval in bulk, but I'd like to see some addressing of the underlying issues. To me, and this may be a gross example, if somebody has gained a lot of weight through an unhealthy lifestyle, this is not sort of a critique, and then somebody undergoes a medical procedure, that medical procedure can potentially be a short-term solution. We need to be looking at lifestyle factors, et cetera, et cetera. So how did we get here? Why are we doing this now and not 6 months ago or 8 months ago, or maybe when the backlog started? And what are the underlying issues? In my mind, we have to look at the consulate system. Why is it so prevalent in our sort of processing, on the processing side of things? Why can't we have more processing in Canada? Why don't we have an agile and centralized system that basically looks at applications at first in, first out, uses AI to pre-screen and possibly appraise applicants of issues? Why is the GCMS system still being used when it's old and outdated? Why are profiles and portals not linked to an electronic management system? And many things like that, basically. I hope that they're not just going to do this visa amnesty, but they're going to sort of rebuild the system, as I say.
$85 million that was spent during the last year, $750 million again allocated in the budget to for the technological advancements. Let's see where that money is spent. But what you said, I agree with that. Mess. Sometimes I think mess is an understatement of what's happening at IRCC offices across the world. I mean, yes, some visa offices do a better job than the others, but
why should it depend on the visa office? If you file a mortgage application, right? Is this going to depend on what visa office? There should be a clear set of criteria, And as with all online applications, why the backlog in the first place? This is not a microchip issue. It's not like they're waiting for lumber from China to come in so they can work on the application, build something. It's an online application. So, and a lot of this
No, I
is
think,
being blamed on
again, I
COVID.
agree with you on that. But I think there was a deeper issue that ran between the IRCC offices with the COVID hitting. That is, a lot of visa officers came back. A lot of local hires, which were assisting the visa officers, they were let go. And when after the COVID, they all went back, or some of them went back. I understand some visa offices are still not, with the staffing levels, they're not up to date, or they do not have the complete staffing levels. They still haven't rehired a lot of people. It went into a total mess, and obviously nobody was looking at the applications that were gathering dust, and so on and so forth. But I guess that's what I said. Mess is an understatement, and IRCC is just, a first world country should have got this sorted out. But anyways, so that is a discussion for another day as to what's happening with their backlogs and what they're doing with it. Thank you so much for joining in. Stay safe, take care, and stay forever hopeful.